What is leadership in 5 minutes? By the end of this video, in less than 5 minutes, you will understand what leadership is and what it isn't. I'm Jono White, founder and principal consultant of Clarity. I'm based in Australia, and at Clarity, we work with leaders around the world: Australia, New Zealand, US, UK, India. We do leadership coaching, we facilitate offsites for boards and executive teams, we do keynotes, workshops, training on all things leadership. If you are, wherever you're watching this or listening to it, make sure you subscribe, click the bell, follow, just make sure that you don't miss out on our future content on all things leadership. Leadership explained in 5 minutes. My favorite explanation of leadership, which can be a very complex topic, it's a word that we say all the time, but what does it really mean? John Maxwell says leadership is influence. A leader is a person who influences others. And the reason leadership is seen and is assumed to be the prime minister of a country, they're a leader, the CEO of an organization, the head of a school, they're the leader because they're in the position of most influence. So leadership is influence. So how do you know if you're a leader? Well, let me ask you this question. Are you influencing people in your family? Are you influencing your friends? And obviously most of the time where we think about leadership is at work. Are you influencing people at work? And if you are, then you are a leader. What leadership isn't about telling people what to do. That's not just that anyway. Leadership isn't just about telling people what to do. So I said leadership explained, and I wanted to give you just a couple of key things. And you know what comes to mind? I was chatting with a leader today, on this very day, chatting with a leader about who they are as a leader. And you know what? They were saying to me that they struggle a bit to see themselves in the same echelon as some other leaders. And I leant in and I said to them, what are you talking about? You are a fantastic leader. You are a fantastic leader. And John Maxwell and Jim Collins, they talk about this idea of level 5 leaders. And the thing about level 5 leaders, to explain leadership to you, leadership is not authoritarian. Leadership is not bringing down the hammer and telling people where it is. Great leadership, at the end of the day, tends to be about humility. Great leadership tends to be about vulnerability. Great leadership is about listening well. Great leadership is about servant leadership. Great leadership is about empathy, putting myself in your shoes. And this leader I was speaking to today, that's why I got so passionate. Because I said to them, what are you talking about? You're a fantastic leader. You're a level 5 leader. You walk in humility. You build a great team. You model it. You own it. You say, if I'm going to expect them to do that, then I'm going to lead by example. And at the end of the day, leadership is influence, but you can have positive influence or you can have negative influence. And the thing about leadership is that the leader, to explain why it's so significant. So what? Leadership is influence. Well, the leader is the ceiling for the organization. The leader is the ceiling for the organization because the leader has the most influence. And so when it comes to leadership, it's so significant because it sets the ceiling. Even if you have 1,000 people in an organization who are 100 times this, it's only going to hit up against here because the leader at the top of an organization has such influence over strategic direction, over instilling culture, that they will unfortunately be the ceiling. On the plus side, if the leader is the ceiling, then just imagine what can happen if a leader is way, way up there, if the ceiling of their emotional intelligence, if the ceiling of their humility, if the ceiling of their vulnerability, if the ceiling of their hunger to see a positive difference through whatever their organization is doing is way up there, then that organization can skyrocket because leadership is influence. You can have positive influence or negative influence, and the leader is the ceiling for the organization. So that's what leadership is. And leadership tends to be, as I said, great leadership is humility. It's about being a level 5 leader, humility, vulnerability, listening well, serving others. That's what leadership is. If you have found this to help you get clearer on leadership, then make sure you comment the word clarity below, because everything we do is about helping you get clarity as a leader. And make sure you follow this, subscribe, like, share, so that you don't miss out on future content. We've got great content coming. We've got some new podcasts planned for questions with great leaders, which you'll hear about if you just follow and subscribe so that you don't miss out. Thanks for watching.